difficulty level of test, I can't say because it depends on the how exactly you are attentive for the classes. It is not difficult, but it all depends on how exactly you have taken those classes. It is basically based on your class. Yeah, Manjuna, there is a query. Can you just answer it?
Good evening, everybody. Is my voice getting echo?
No, no, going fine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the final day of 5 days certification program on object-oriented programming concept using C++. The query was the function overloading and operator overloading. What is the difference between that? So the difference is function overloading. In the yesterday's example, I have told you about the display. So the display was used 3 times in this program. So that kind of syntax we are using for the program, that is function overloading. And what is operator overloading? Operator overloading is the one which is being used in the program more than one time. It might be the operators have told you in the fundamentals. Those are addition operator, multiplication operator, division, all those operators. Those operators which is being repeated more than one time, then that kind of loading the operator is called operator overloading.
Hope the query is clear. And what is the function overloading?
So function overloading. So nothing, function overloading reduces the investment of different function names and used for particular simple functionality by more than one operators or one arguments. So why we use function overloading? Because when you use operators, when you use program operators and the parameters, so if you go on using that for a long period of time in your program, then the program complexity will increase. So to reduce the complexity of the program, we use overloading the function. Okay. Overloading is nothing but its features enables to redefine the operators. These operators are used by the objects. Okay, so function overloading is a simple definition. So more than one times a method is being called or a method is being used is function overloading. At the same time, the operator also will be used simultaneously. That is additional operator, subtraction operator. There are so many kinds of operators. Yeah, please explain the program, operator overloading and function overloading. So today I have kept a program on operator overloading and function overloading. So it comes under constructor. So I'll explain you the default constructor. In that, overloading of function and the method will be called. The second one is a constructor overloading and third one is a parameterized constructor overloading. I've kept 3 programs to explain you on overloading function using method and constructor.
Yeah, thanks, Manjunath. Guys, welcome to the last day of our program. So this is a last day. If you have any queries, there is a contact detail has been mentioned on the screen. You can just take a snap of it. If anybody has any queries, they can write it to us. And in the meantime, whatever the queries are there, you can clarify today. If chance something is missed, you can send us an email. We'll definitely within about 24 hours, we'll be able to help you out with that. And any issues or any support required related, anything is there, you just write a mail to us. So we'll be happy to help you in that. And once again, finally, I welcome you all for the day 5. So Manjunath will continue the today's session. After today's session, we have a small test. with 20 questions. The Google Sheet will be shared with all the participants. So they have to fill it. There will be a 15 to 20 minutes of time given to each participant. They have to fill it, and it is not a multiple. It is not a multiple choice. It is a simple questions which has been given. You have to write in about 2 to 3 lines. Yes, it's a descriptive test. So people have to fill it and submit it within 15-20 minutes. There will be a time given. So once you submit the form, there will be a feedback form will also be shared today. I request all the participants to give the feedback. That will help us for the future programs to correct ourselves if we have done anything wrong or something like that. So Manjunath will continue the session. Please stay attention, give attention for the sessions. Manjunath,
Sir?
we can continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this test is going to be held on the Google platform, right?
Yes, Google Sheet. Yes.
Yes. It will be
And
held
it's
on
a-
Google platform.
And it's a subjective type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the end
And
of the
sir,
session, the link will be passed to you through chat, and you can go with the link and answer those questions.
Okay. So and sir, at that time, will the class will be going on?
No.
The class, the concept will stop and the session will stop. End of the session, we will have test.
Okay.
After the explanation done, only we will start the test.
Okay.
Today,
And so one
today
more.
yeah. Tell me.
So
We have
so
two topics to
feedback.
cover. Today we are having two topics to cover, that is polymorphism and constructor. After finishing that, we will go for the test.
Okay, sir. Sir, and this test is no related with the certification certificate of
No, it is not related
OOPS,
to
right?
certificate. It is not related to the certificate. It is just to test
Okay.
how exactly the knowledge has been transferred to the
Okay.
participants.
Yes, sir, surely. Okay, sir,
Okay.
sure.
And the feedback link will also be shared. I request all the participants to fill the feedbacks.
Okay, sir. So hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Exam link and
So the feedback.
send it WhatsApp through WhatsApp. Sir.
No, it will be sent in the chat box, and in the see the feedback link. I'll be sending it in chats.
Whenever
Chat.
you're closing the session, chat box also closed, sir.
No. See the feedback link. We will send it through mail also. Not to worry on that. Only the test link will be shared in the beginning. After the test link, before I'll announcing. Hello. Yes.
Yes,
Sir, sir, I have a query about the certificate. What is the way to distribute the certificate, sir?
Sorry.
Sir, what is the way to distribute the certificate to the participants, sir?
It will be sent through WhatsApp as well as in the email.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Manjunath, please continue the session. I request all
Okay.
the participants to be on the mute. Thank you.
All the participants, please be on mute. Any queries or any questions to be asked, please place your queries in the chat box after every topic completed. So let us start today's session. So today's session, we are going to concentrate on polymorphism and, as I told you, overloading, that is constructor. Okay, the first topic goes like this: polymorphism in C++. See, polymorphism is very, very important concept.
What is the time limit?
Please put your
Sir, what is the time limit?
Yes, whatever the queries are there, please put it in the chat box. Don't unmute when the class is going on. Put it in the chat box. I will answer those queries. Yeah, Manjunath, go ahead.
okay, whatever the queries, please put it in the chat box. So let's not disturb the class. At the end of the session also, we can have clear discussion on your doubts and all. So polymorphism in C++. So polymorphism is very, very important concept in OOPS concept. It is related to inheritance as well. So in inheritance, we take the inheritance of the base class and it is called as derived class. So some information, some instance is taken from the base class, and through base class, the derived class is been run. Okay, that is inheritance. Now let us discuss on polymorphism. Polymorphism is a feature of object-oriented programming where function can take multiple forms based on the type of arguments and number of arguments. Okay, based on type of number of arguments and type of arguments. You need to understand the type of arguments and number of arguments are different. So type of arguments might be int argument or float argument or any kind of data type arguments, or you can have your arguments in numbers. These kind of arguments are used in polymorphism. The ability of an operator and function to take multiple forms is called polymorphism. So let us break this polymorphism and think in different way. Polymorphism is derived from the Greek word called poly means many and morphism means form. So here in this program, we are going to take one instance or one base class and we'll break that and we'll make it as many forms and run the program. So poly means many and morphism means form. It means that there is more than one condition or more than one parameters to be passed. Okay, so let us take one example. Before example, you see the hierarchy of the polymorphism. So the hierarchy is compile time and followed by this runtime. There are two kinds of polymorphism can take place: compile time and runtime. In the compile time, you can do function overloading and operator overloading, and the runtime you can have your virtual functions. So next one, I just told you the word polymorphism is nothing but many forms. It occurs in hierarchy and it is related to the inheritance. Okay, first we'll take an example and discuss, and then we'll go to the basic program of polymorphism. The example is, in real life example, I would take an example as a person at the same time can have different characteristics, like a man. At the same time, a man can be a father, a husband, an employee, and so on. So the same person poses different behavior in different situation. Okay, this is called polymorphism. The understanding is a man is a base class. Okay, the man is a base class. The man can do what all things. Man can pursue what all things. Man can relate to what all characteristics and behavior. It might be a father, he might be a boy, he might be a husband, he might be an employee of any office. So this kind of attitudes and behaviors combined together is polymorphism. Polymorphism is considered as one of the important features. As I told you, polymorphism allows us to perform single action. Polymorphism allows us to do single action in different ways. The ways might be using the arguments and parameters with the data types or without data types. This is about the single example. I will go with one more example, that is a woman. In the previous example, I told about man. Now I am speaking on woman. A woman can take many roles in different situations. Same like man. Man also takes different situation with the different roles. It might be a child. She might be a mother. She might be a homemaker at home or a worker at the office. So what I'm trying to say is, women with different roles exhibit different behaviors in different condition. Woman assumes a different role and exhibits different behavior in different condition, but the base class was woman. Okay, by the base class, the derived class might be a worker, homemaker, mother, teacher, anything. So that's why I told it is related to inheritance. Okay, let us go with an example now. Okay, the first example I'm taking today is the inheritance. So you can see your IO stream, that is the input and output stream reader with the hash include syntax. Second, preprocessor or the header file is about string, because in this program completely we are dealing with the strings. I mean to say the alphabets. There is no calculation part available in this. Now you can see here I've shown base class, derived class, derived class. So using the base class, I'm going to inherit the derived class and make it as polymorphism. Poly means many and morphism means forms, many forms. By using the base class, you can conduct many n number of forms. So you can see the class name as animal. One thing I would like to tell you is, remember one thing, whenever you are using colon after the class, okay, that is inherited by the class itself. Okay, whenever you use the symbol called colon, you should understand that we are inheriting something from the base class. See, you can see your class pig. I have taken an animal name as pig. When I use this colon in front of this pig, means the colon is inherited by a base class, that is animal. Okay, now by using this base class as animal, I have derived two classes, that is pig and dog. So I have clearly mentioned public animal, animal. So animal is the base class. These are the basic information of the polymorphism. See here, poly means many and morphism means forms. Many forms can be inculcated in this program. So let us open the main and see. Before that, I'll open the class name. So when I click the class name, what I want from this class, I want the sound of the animal. So I will just initialize the animal sound with the empty parameter. So open and close flower, this one bracket denotes that it is a empty parameter. So in this empty parameter, what I am going to print? So what I am going to print it in the output screen, the printing statement is, Cout will help you to print the statement on the output screen. That is, the animal makes a sound. Okay, the animal makes a sound. That is the first line to be printed on the output screen. Okay, that is the first line. Next, what I have to do is, I have to bring the cursor to the next line. So I'm going to use \n. So I have told you in the previous session as well, \n is nothing but the escape sequence, and that will help you to make your cursor come down to the next line. So this is one block. This is one block which help you to print the information as the animal make a sound. This is one block. Let me go for a derived class. So this is a base class. Now I am going to open a derived class. In this derived class, I am using the class as pig and dog. So pig, what does pig do? What does dog do? Okay, I'll click this one, and the animal sound pig says we. Okay, I'm just giving an example here. It's not exactly how it gives you the sound. I'm just taking an example of we. So pig makes sound as we. So first thing, the base class will inherit this information on the output screen, followed by the derived class. So the derived class says, when I say pig, the pig says we. This is the derived class of the segment. So this block will cover only the pig says we, and followed by the \n. Again, the derived class, one more types of forms I'm taking here, that is dog. So the dog will do what? Again, the new block is opened here. In this block, I'm using the statement as the dog says bow bow. Okay, that is how the dog does. No, that's what. So here two conditions are there. Two conditions. The first condition is a derived class of the class base animal, and the second one is also the derived class. Second one is also the derived class of the base class animal. Okay, this is one thing. Now what I have to do, I have to create a main of this program. So once I create the main of the program, usual I create the object. The class name was animal, and I'm creating the object of animal. What is the object I'm taking here? Anything you can take, any words you can take for your reference, for the convenience of the understanding. I'm taking as my animal. So my animal, pig, my pig. For pig also I'm creating an object. For dog, I'm creating an object. So for all three, I'm creating an object. But what I'm going to do is I'm just mixing all the three forms and making it a single form, that is polymorphism. So your animal is a base class. I have created an object called my animal. Pig is a derived class, and I created an object called my pig. Dog is a derived class. I have created an object called my dog. Now what I have to do now? My animal dot animal sound. So animal sound, what are the animal sound it has to produce? As I have declared in the derived class in this block. Okay, this block says the pig says VV, and in this block the dog says bow bow. Okay, so next one, after finishing this, returns to the main and completes the program. This is the final block of the program. So three blocks are very essential in this polymorphism. One is the base class. One is the base class. Then what happens? The second one is the derived class. Third one is also the derived class. Use twice the derived class. Let us compile this program. Compiled now. The animal makes sound. The pig says VV, and the dog says bow bow. So this is the encapsulation of data and information. Nothing but inheriting the base class and taking the derived class and printing the statement on the output screen. This is a polymorphism, a simple polymorphism. Now, any doubts, any queries, you can place your queries on the chat box on this program on base class and derived class using polymorphism.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
now this is compile time polymorphism or runtime polymorphism?
Sorry?
Now this program is compile time polymorphism or runtime polymorphism?
No, this is just a polymorphism. I have not started compile time polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. Just a basic example of polymorphism.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Next example I am going to take on compile time polymorphism.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, there over in the public, sir, we are using void. Sir, why are we using this?
Void is a keyword used, so you can use the void as a keyword. No need of changing the void name or anything like that. So when you're using the class name here as animal, so you can use void here. If you don't want to use void also, no problem. That is a keyword. Okay, void, public, and all those see out, see in, all are keywords. Use it to get the instance of this class name as animal. So in this animal, I have taken animal sound. So void is a keyword, and the animal sound is the instance of this animal base class. And this one more question is, so why do we have to write \n? So good question, because when you don't use this \n, then what happens? The output what you want to print on the output screen will come in the straight line, and there will be no understanding properly. There will be no sense to understand if you go on writing the output or syntax or information on the output screen. You have to bifurcate that and make it to the next line so that the execution part of that particular syntax will be printed. Now, for example, see here the pic says VV. So this cannot be on the same line after the animal makes a sound. So if you use a \n in the output terminal, what happens? The cursor will come to the next line and then it will print the pic says VVV. After this, again, my cursor should come to the next line to print the dog says bow bow. Okay, so that is why we use \n every now and then to avoid the syntax or the statement in same line and make the output screen in a proper way. Can you please compile this code once again? Yes, I'll compile this. Okay. You can see the compilation process and output screen of that. The animal makes a sound. That is the statement, and second statement is the derived class, that is pig says VV, and the second derived class, the dog says bow bow. Clear? Let us go to the next compile time polymorphism. Click this. Okay, now compile time polymorphism. What is compile time polymorphism? In this example, we have functions. See, you can see here we have two functions here with the name and different number of arguments. With the name and different number of arguments. See here in this program, I am using the function name as sum and function name as sum. So I am using the two functions with the same name. Can you see this? Int sum and int sum. Okay, here I am using the same function name, but the confusion or the difference is I am using the different number of arguments. The function might be the same, but the arguments which is placed in the bracket is different. So in the first function sum, I have used the argument as int number 1 and int number 2. This int number 1 and int number 2. This will help you to do the calculation. What does it return? Number 1 plus number 2. It is just simple. That it's like an arithmetic operators or operations, number 1 plus number 2. So I will take an example. Example 5. So the first function or the method will store the value of number 1 and number 2 as 10. Second function is also the same sum. You can say more than one times the method is being called, then you can call it as overloading as well. Next one, I'm using the arguments here. Here I'm using the arguments 3 times. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay. In the previous one, we used twice the arguments, and in the second method, I'm using it for twice the arguments. Sorry, thrice the arguments. And what I have to return means what I have to get it from this 3 arguments. The argument says 3 arguments, but the return says you have to multiply or divide or subtract or addition. So here I've used the operator called addition. So all the 3 numbers you have to add and store it in sum. So there are 2 methods as sum, and arguments are different for 2 methods. Now let us go to the next one. I'm creating the object. I'm creating the main. Add object. See here the class name is add. Okay, make it clear. The class name is add. So every time when I create a main of the class, then I will create the object of the class as well. When I am creating the main of the class, so no need of using the class name again and again. So I'll create an object of that class. Now the first function to be called. What is the first function? The first function or a method is sum. In this, what I have done, num1 plus num2. Okay. So output of that, output should print is object dot sum. See, object is nothing but add. Add is nothing but the class name add. Okay, don't forget, object is nothing but add and the class name is nothing but add. So what you're going to add? So num1 and num2. Num1 I have taken it as 10 here and num2 I am taken it as 20. So this is the first function is being called. I'm using 2 times the function to call because the function or method is being called twice in this program. The first time when it called, the value is stored as 10 and 20. And second time the function is called, this will call the second function. Okay, second function object dot sum. So when we use sum here, automatically it will invoke on this sum method and see what is the argument placed in this program in this syntax. Okay, in this syntax, num1, num2 and num3. So what is the combination of that? Addition of all the numbers. So here 11, 22 and 33 is the number I am giving here. So in this program, we are going to compile time, because in the compile time you will directly get to know the output of this answer, because in the previous time and all we enter the value or the number in the output screen. Okay, that is a runtime process, and compile time is what the value is stored or value is being initiated in the program itself. Now the first function method is 10 and 20, end line coming out of the line, and second method is 11, 22, 33. End line is not required because there is no further condition. So we will return to 0, means there is no value. So directly it will go to the main function and stop the program function. So this is about compile time polymorphism. Let us go for an output and see how does the output shows you, and then we'll have a discussion on this topic. Okay. Now can you see 2 methods was sum, and the arguments were 2 for the first sum, arguments for 3 for the second sum method. So when we initialized or when we call the function for the first time, the output was what was the output? The value was 10 and 20. The value was 10 and 20. Value of 10 and 20, automatically the plus operator, I mean to say additional operator, will start working on that, and it will add first argument and second argument value and give you output as 30. And the second function call method also same, but with the different number of arguments, that is 3 arguments. First one was 11, 22 and 33. That is nothing but number 1, number 2 and number 3. So making it in a single unit, the calculation goes and the output will be 66. This is about compile time polymorphism. Okay, any doubt? Ask question on, put it your queries in the chat box. So what is the difference between inheritance and polymorphism? So inheritance in polymorphism, I told you, remember from inheritance chapter, we use the colon symbol to inherit from the class. So here also we have used the symbol as colon. Yes, colon is used here. So I'm inheriting the class. Okay, the inheritance is the base class and the derived class, and polymorphism, by using that, more number of forms created, more number of method can be created. That is the sum. In sum, any number of arguments. Again in sum, any number of arguments can be placed. That is the difference. I told you polymorphism it is related to inheritance. Okay, now one more question is there. So why did you assign same name, sir? See, the assigning same name I have used because I'm inheriting the sum. Let's go for changing the name here. I'll change add and again come. I'll get the output as wrong. So why I'm using this sum is because inheriting the arguments when you're placing the same method function to be called, and this repeating method function is also called as overloading. Any other queries? Yes, tell me.
Sir, how can we differentiate between the polymorphism and the function overloading just by looking at the code?
See,
I mean, there's no difference. We are using the same name.
yeah. See here in the inheritance, we are not using the arguments or the parameters, but in the polymorphism, we are using the arguments in the parameters. You can see here num1, num2, num1, num2, and num3. These are the arguments used in polymorphism. When you find these kind of syntax, then it is definitely a polymorphism programs.
Sir, I'm asking the difference between polymorphism and function overloading.
See, polymorphism means what? Many forms. Okay? Polymorphism means many and morphism means forms. Many forms. Here, some is the same and many forms. Here, this is one form and this is second form. Like that, you can initialize any number of forms here. In these forms, what you need to understand is the arguments. How many kinds of arguments, how many types of arguments you are going to invoke in this method.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, let us go to the constructor now. After this polymorphism, let us go to the constructor. Okay, constructor. See, all concepts are interrelated to polymorphism and inheritance. That is how, or that is why OOPS has got more weightage on polymorphism and inheritance. Now, constructor, there are three kinds of constructor here. One is the default constructor, parameterized constructor, and one more is the copy constructor. Today I have taken two constructor, default constructor and parameterized constructor. First, I'll take an example of default constructor. Okay, in this program, I am taking the class name as example. Let us open all the blocks here. The first block, I told you, default constructor. There is a simple difference between default constructor and parameterized constructor. That is, see, when you open a class name as employee and public with this colon, that is inheriting the employee class. So what is this employee? Employee with empty brackets is default constructor. Directly you can understand when nothing is written inside this. For example, int a comma int b. So this is parameterized constructor. When nothing is written inside this block, inside this bracket, then that is default constructor. Okay, now let us open this. This is a very simple program. Default constructor doesn't need much explanation. By seeing or by using the open bracket and closed bracket and nothing to be written inside this is the only default constructor. Let us run this program. Directly default constructor invoked. Means what? Whatever I have written here, it is invoking, and nothing is been done inside the employee code. Now, one small change we will take, one small example I will take on this default constructor. The difference between default constructor and parameterized constructor is, let me go for this program. Here, you can see here, I've initialized ID for data member and name for string and salary for float. These three are the data types. These three are the data types. What in this program I'm going to, okay, in parameterized constructor, this program is on the employee part. So employee should have an ID number and employee should have a name of the employee and what is the salary the employee is going to take. Okay, so int, I'm using the data type as int and the variable I have created as ID, and the string is the name and float is the salary. Why I'm using float here? I am using float because salary cannot be a whole number all the time. Salary cannot be a whole number all the time. You might have a change of that. You might have a decimal number of that. So for the safer side, we will use float. Okay. If your salary is more, lakhs together, close together, something like that, your earning is more and salary is more, then you can go for double here. Go for double float. So when you use double float, the capacity or the range of the numbers to be stored is increased. Okay. If you use only float, a particular numbers can be stored, particular range of numbers can be stored. So I'll remove this double, need not have to use now. Now employee, int I, int n, and int s. So here I have created variable called ID, name, and salary. So I have given the name using the data type, but I am not initialized. What is that I'm making is I'm converting the variable into a simple variable. So ID, I will take it as I, and name, I will call it as N, and salary, I'll call it as yes. To make your program easier to understand, created the variable to a smaller variable. Okay, this is the first block of the program. Here I have not discussed anything about the constructor, I mean to say parameterized constructor. Okay, only thing is here you can see here, but in the next stage we will see display. After initializing these three information, these three data members, what I have to display? I have to display the ID, name, and salary. Okay, when I write this ID here, so whatever the ID is being invoked in this I will be stored here, and name goes like this, and salary also goes like this. Now, creating an object of an employee. So every time at the end of the program, I usually create a main function, okay, to convert the class name into an object. Okay, now employee E1. So here E1, I would say E1, I call E1 as an object. Object of what? Employee. So employee is a class name here, and employee's class name's object I have created as E1. So object E1 is equal to employee. So the first one will be the ID number. Second one will be the name of the employee, and third one will be the salary of the employee. Okay. In this example, I am taking two employees details. Again, second example, employee E2. E2 is the object creation of the second employee. Okay. Is equal to employee 02 is the ID number, and name is Nakul, and the salary is this 59,000. Why we are creating and giving an employee code as an object? Because anybody's details cannot be mixed with each other. For example, roll number 1 or the ID number 1's name should not be interchange with the second name or with the third name or with any other name. Same with the salary, because each time the employee's position, each time each of their employees' position will be different. One might be in a lower level position, one might be higher level position, and in a company nobody will have the same salary. It depends on their ability and their work nature. Okay, so that is why we create employees code as E1. E1 is the object created. Now after finishing these two, I want to display what I want to display. I want to display E1 and E2. I want to display E1 and E2. So I will make it as E1 dot display, and this should print, and E2 dot display, the second detail should print, and returns 0 to the main function, and ending of this program completed. Now let us compile this program. Here, this is parameterized constructor. Here what happens, I have used parameters here with the different data types. Okay, in the previous program we didn't use any parameters. So yeah, what I did was, in the previous one it was like this: employee with this, that is empty constructor or default constructor. So automatically when you insert something inside this bracket with the data types and different number of arguments, then this is called as parameterized constructor. Okay, now let us run this program, compile this program. So the employee one ID number was 101, and the name was initialized in the program was Sonu, and the salary part. And second time E2, the second employee's name was Nakul, and the ID number was 102, and the salary was this. This is about parameterized constructor. Let us go to the last one of this constructor, that is constructor overloading. Okay, what is the constructor overloading? So here you will find it in detail. So here no arguments means default constructor with one arguments and with two arguments. Okay, here parameterized constructor is there, and empty constructor is also there. Let us go in detail on this program about constructor overloading. I said in the previous section and all, when the class name is being called for more than one time, then that is called as constructor overloading or function overloading. Here constructor overloading and function overloading is different. Constructor overloading is, here one is initialized, again second, again third. So this is constructor overloading. Okay, now I'll open this, all the blocks I'll open, so that we start the explanation. So class ABC. Okay, private, I have taken private with the colon, int x comma y. See here, I have to deal with some values. So to deal with the values, I want to create a variable. When you want to create a variable, you should have a data type. So normal data type which I use is int x comma y public. So ABC with the default constructor. ABC with the default constructor. Constructor 1 with no arguments. See, inside this bracket there is no arguments placed, but in the previous program we have placed 3 arguments. Those were int a, okay, those were int a, string n, and float yes. Now in this segment I am not writing any arguments directly. I am writing with empty arguments, that is default constructor. X is equal to y is equal to 0. There is no value available here, so just print as it is. Second one is again ABC constructor int a. So here one argument is being passed in this method, that is int a, and your int a is what I am initializing with x and y here. X is equal to y and y is equal to a. So whatever the value is been passed by x is passed to y, and followed by that it is passed to A. So this is constructor 2 with 1 arguments. So here no arguments, here 1 arguments. Okay, and the next one is the third argument, that is third constructor ABC. I'm using again ABC. So constructor is being passed third time, so it is constructor overloading. So the data type I'm using is int for both the arguments. Okay, int A and int B are the parameters. So you can call it as arguments or parameters. There are two parameters or arguments. They are int A and int B. Now x is equal to A and y is equal to B. Nowhere I have initialized here as A comma B. Okay, I have initialized as x comma y only. So by using this variable, I am interchanging the value of x to A and y to B. So whatever the value is being invoked in this x will be shared to A, and whatever the value is stored in y will be stored in B. Okay, so these are the three kinds of arguments placed in constructor. The first one was the arguments. There were no arguments inside the bracket, so the value was not initialized. Second time, the constructor was passed with 1 argument, so the value is passed and the value can be initialized as A. And the third time, constructor 3 with 2 arguments. So 2 arguments, I am taking the variable as A and B, and A is being initialized the value of x and B is being initialized the value of y. After finishing this, what kind of things it has to come? It has to display. Okay. Now after this, I will create a main of this class. Main of this class, to create an object of the class name. ABC was the class name. Yes or no? ABC was the class name. CC1. Okay. Constructor 1 with empty arguments or no arguments. Constructor 2. Constructor 2 is what? A. In A, 1 value is been passed. So I'm passing 1 value here. Again, A, B, C. Constructor, I'm passing the value twice. 10 and 20. So once we finish this display should start asking what to print on the output screen. So this is only the internal part, but it will not display anything. So you want to display anything, then you have to take the object of the class as constructor. Constructor have created an object called cc1.display. So empty will pass and constructor 1 will pass. cc2 display, constructor 2 will pass. cc3 display, constructor 3 will pass. Returns 0 to the main, and that is the end of the program. And let us compile this program and see any error takes place or how the operators and the constructor runs with these 3 methods. So the first time there was no arguments or parameters, so x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. There was no value was passed inside the first argument. So A, B, C in the empty one, there was no value passed and the value was only 0. That is a default value was placed. That is constructor 1 with the no arguments. Second one was x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 10. Third one was x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 20. This is constructor overloading. Okay. Now, any doubts on this? Please place your information on the chat box. That is the end of the constructor.
Yeah, Manjunath.
Done with the session.
Okay. Guys, I have placed a feedback link on your chat box. I request there is about 2 minutes. You can fill that feedback. We will be using the same names, whatever has been put in the feedback form. Make sure you put up proper names. and the feedback is mandatory for the certificates. I'm repeating, feedback is mandatory for the certificates. I request all the participants to give us a valuable feedback. Any queries you can clarify in the meantime?
Let them concentrate on the forms which is being provided to them so that they can fill it properly. Then they can ask further doubts.
And after 5 minutes, you will be given the test link.
Please fill your valuable feedbacks. That is more valuable for us to correct ourselves for the next session. Give your valuable feedbacks.
Once it is done, please say yes on the chat box. We have another 3 minutes. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Swati. Thank you, Shahaj. Thank you, Jhalak. Thank you, Raju. Thank you, Pallavi. Thanks, Shifa. Thanks, Divya. Thanks, Kirti. Thanks, Suhail. Thanks, Sandhavya. Thanks, Gagan. Thanks, Danish. I have 1 more minute to go. Thanks, Shreya. Thanks. I am unable to pronounce this name. Thanks, Vidya. Thanks, Gautam. What is this? Mrunakal Khande. What is this name? Can you just pronounce that name? Mrunalk.
Sir, that's Mrunal.
Okay, Mrunal.
Kunal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This session was very helpful. Thank you, Danesh. If any queries, you can send us an email also. We will definitely revert back. Good
Ram
session.
Krishna for giving me a valuable feedback. Good session, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Danish, for your valuable suggestion. Thank you.
It has completed all my expectations. Good, Danesh. I'm very happy.
Thank you, Sehash. Thank you, Swati. End of the session. If the participants are happy, we are happy. So I'm really glad and happy about your feedbacks on the chat box. Thank you so much. Rajiv, Suhail, thank you.
Guys, if someone wants to speak, they can speak about the session.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
question is very
So
interesting.
I am a first year graduate.
Okay.
Uh, the session was up to my mark and has completed all the needs of mind learning oops in C++.
Okay. Thank you.
I am now onwards. I am very happy to uh, ask and tell everyone that I know something about the oops in C++ and I am a bit good and a better upon them. I have some upper hand on them as I have
Great.
certified a new thing, right?
Okay. Yeah, true. See, let me tell
Thank you,
you,
sir.
our
Thanks to
certificate is really valuable. Okay, you can use this certificate for your upcoming if you're applying any of the jobs and all those things.
sure,
Our
sir. Sure, sir.
certificate will have definitely a weightage
Yes, sir. I'm
because
looking
people
forward to that,
knows.
sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, please send this compiler link, sir.
Definitely, we'll do that. Manjunath, can you just send that link in the chat box? See compiler link. Yeah,
2 minutes.
it will be shared. How many participants? Because people have known in the market, like people knows about Agimus technologies in the market. So people will definitely identify because now we have become so much famous on the delivery part because most
Yes,
of
and
our
it
training program.
and sir, it
Yes,
provides a content which is supposed to be famous, sir.
yes. So because nowadays, because whatever the content we are delivering, not only on the C++, we deliver many courses related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, and we are coming up with image processing and computer vision, and we are also coming up with data structure and algorithm using C++. That is our upcoming program. If anyone is interested, they can contact us.
Yes, sir.
Now I think most
Definitely.
of you have given the feedback. Now let's come to the final stage. Now I'll be sending in the test link, and I'll be giving you exactly. It is 8:37 now. You can start the test by 8:40 and finish it by 9 o'clock. If anyone has finished, they can say finish. I'm just sharing you a link. Copy and paste. Guys, all the best. I'm sending you the link. I request all the participants to take this link. I request all the participants to take a part on the test. As I told you, there will be something will be given. I'll try to do that. So there will be two best participants will be selected. We'll see what best I can help you out. So here it is the link. The link has been put in the chat box. So you have 15 minutes to do this. There are 20 questions. All the best, guys. we have a 10 more minutes to go. I request all the participants to submit their test now. So few more are yet to submit. I request all the participants to submit.
Sir, when we will get the results?
Results I will be sending in the email. Maybe by tomorrow or tonight.
And the certificate
Okay,
is
sir.
also
Okay,
by
sir.
tomorrow.
Guys, the contact details has been displayed on the screen. I request participants to contact us if you have any queries.
So we will be getting certificate by.
Certificate will be given to you within about 2 days,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
48 hours. So, any other queries? Anyone? In terms of subject or in terms of anything else? Any queries?
Sir, this test marks will be recorded in certificate or not, sir?
It will not be recorded in certificate.
It will be, sir.
No, it will not be.
Okay, sir.
I want to know about intern. Raju, what is it about intern? Yeah, Raju, can you speak? Internship. See, the internship, whatever you are launching, it is on machine learning and artificial intelligence, which is going to be a 6 weeks program, 45 days of internship, wherein you will learn the concepts of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and we will be giving you some knowledge about the live project, whatever we are working on. We work on most of the artificial intelligence and machine learning projects. We will be giving you the opportunity to work on those projects also. The concept of artificial intelligence and machine learning. That internship will be for 45 days. Every week you will be having 5 hours of class. After that, you will be given assignment. The assignment will be based on our live project. So we are developing few of the products for COVID-19 situation. Wherein we are developing one product for the social distance maintaining. Sir, do you have any course? Yes, FPGA, we are launching it by next week. So we are launching one program on FPGA that will be communicated through email. We might launch it by tomorrow evening on FPGA.
Sir, do you have any internships or courses for the civil engineering students?
Come again?
Sir, do you have any courses or internships for the civil engineering students?
Civil engineering student, as of now, we don't have, but we will be launching few courses on CFD.
Okay, sir.
CFD courses will be launched in association with ANSYS, Fluid Dynamics.
Okay, sir.
Any other queries?
Sir, do you know about which company organizes the which company or training center organizes the civil engineering internships or courses?
We'll definitely send you those details. Yeah, I will
Okay,
share
sir.
you those details. I have few of my friends who is doing that. I will definitely share you those links.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, as of now, I am.
Join internship.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, as of now, I'm really confused between cloud computing and machine learning. In which course should I invest?
No, coming in. Which computing?
Cloud computing, sir.
Cloud computing and machine learning, right?
Yes, sir. I'm first year computer sciences. So from which course should I begin?
If you see machine learning, basically you teach machines to learn. Okay, see, machine learning is a vast subject wherein you will be learning the concepts of image processing, computer vision, that is a video processing, and you will be learning some concepts on artificial intelligence also. But cloud computing is a different topic only. So machine learning and cloud computing both are not same, both are different one. But as of now, if you see the job market, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, they are the hot topics which is there in the
Okay,
market.
sir. Yes, sir.
So the information on the internship, it will be shared by tonight or tomorrow via email. Rajiv Ranjan. So the information I will share you, Rajiv. Just a second, I will show you what exactly it is. Give me a minute. The topics, whatever we are going to cover. This is what is the agenda of our this 2 weeks program. Not 2 weeks, 6 weeks program. So here you will be talking about MATLAB basics. I think everyone is able to see my screen. Okay, so this is what is the complete agenda for that complete internship program. Machine learning concepts, machine learning for data science, machine learning, data pre-processing for machine learning, deep learning concepts, Python for artificial intelligence. We have one hardware called Pink, which is from Xilinx. There will be a concepts of Python also in that internship program. You will learn about Raspberry Pi 4. You will learn about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is there is one board called Jetson Nano, which has about 128 cores. You will be trained on that. And I was talking about Xilinx Pink overview and the projects. See, these are our projects which we are working on. Spam detection, anomaly detection, image classification, image segmentation, traffic surveillance. So all these projects, we will be giving you overview of these projects and the assignments will be given on these projects. So hope I made it clear. Any other queries?
Sir, sorry, sir. Now only I am connected, sir. These are the projects related to which subject, sir?
Sorry, come again.
Sir, my network is very low. Now only connected, sir.
Okay.
Displaying major projects are related to which subject, sir?
See, this will be basically on machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. How many days, sir, course, sir?
So this will be 45 days. In that, every week you will have a 5 hours of classes. Means 2 days, 2.5 hour, 2.5 hour classes will be there. After that, you will
Sir.
be given an assignment to complete.
What is the fees, sir?
2,999 rupees.
Machine learning, sir.
Yes. complete artificial intelligence and machine learning for 45 days.
Sir, when will it begin?
June 1st.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. You send the link, sir.
We'll be sharing you the links.
Okay,
Hello, sir.
Through mail. Through mail.
Yeah, mail as well as the WhatsApp. I'll share you in the both.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Rajesh, still you have a query?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can you please move the page little up because little up I have not I had not saw the yes sir this only.
Edge devices. Edge devices are used for machine learning and artificial intelligence projects. Also, to execute all these, whatever we are doing, right? Like artificial and machine learning, like Raspberry Pi 4, which is actually basically a small computer, wherein all your like object identification and recognizing the object, all those things can be done with Raspberry Pi 4. Also, we have a NVIDIA board, NVIDIA Jetson Nano, which is more faster than Raspberry Pi, can be used for your machine learning applications. And Zinc, the pink board. This is basically from Xilinx. Xilinx is the company which develops FPGA boards. So they have developed this pink board which can be programmed with Python programming. Yeah, Rajesh, you can call me anytime, no issues.
Sir, little down please. Thank you sir. Little more. Okay, that much only.
So
Hello,
these are
sir.
the projects yes. Yeah,
Sir,
tell me.
Sir, I am
these
taking the sir, I am taking the photos of this project, sir.
No, it will be sent to you in your mail. Don't worry. You can take a photo also, no issues.
Yes, sir.
Sure, sir.
These are our live projects which we are working with the most of the companies, like face detection, voice detection, robot lane detection. All these projects we are working with one of few of the MNCs. We are working with Continental, we are working with Bosch, we are working with Infosys also for their one of the project. We are working with many of the companies on these projects, like image segmentation and all those things. So we are working with one of the automotive company, Mercedes-Benz. And vehicle detection, all those things we are working with Karnataka government for the traffic police. So for vehicle detections, we are working on few of the projects with Karnataka government.
Hello, sir.
Any other queries? Yeah.
Sir, I had a query, sir, regarding the test which was taken right now. Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
how are we? Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, how are we going to get our results of that particular exam?
Yeah, we will send you through email with the answers, whatever you have written, and we will compare those answers with our answer, and we'll send you the exact number, like what is the score.
Okay, sir. Sir, and sir, are we going to get our ranks according to that?
Yes, it will not be mentioned in the certificate, but you will be sent complete what is your rank.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. A, B, and C.
So means, sir, sir, there is not
A
going
is
to be a
being
number.
highest. No, A is being highest, C is going to be lowest. Do your company go for the campus placement? Yes, we do go for the campus placement. We take students for our projects, like what are the projects we get. So we go to the colleges, we conduct the placements also. Any other queries? So thank you guys. Thanks for your wonderful time of 5 days. It was pleasure having you guys. to see you for our next programs also. I'll be sharing the details. If someone is interested, they can definitely register. We will try to give our best. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So I'll be ending the session. Yeah, thanks, guys. If any
Yes,
queries,
sir.
please send us the email.
Sir, hello.
Sure, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, hello.
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. There.
Sir,
C++ projects as of now, it is not there because we are basically not into this C++ and all those things. Just because there was an interest from the students, we had launched this program. Yes, but still we will be looking out for it. Once we get any C++ project, definitely we will communicate.
okay, sir. Thank you.